do so, also tell us what would you want to see as we craft our vision for 2050 as a country.
Thank you very much for this loaded question. I need to be very careful sitting in between the veterans here. I'm not an economist, but I think I'm a good businessman. I've been in existence in business for the last 50 years. We are very diversified as a company from very many sectors, be it financial, be it infrastructure, but manufacturing is a key part of our business. Lawrence is right. I mean, those were the days 25 years back when we also had a vision to grow, and today also we have the same vision. When this Vision 2025, I distinctly remember, was led by Dr. Jonas Kipokola, and he used to kind of be gaga about it. This is our vision, this is where we are going to reach, and I think it's done a lot. It's always good to set a vision than not to have one, and I'm glad that almost getting over to that, we are talking about Vision 2050. A lot has been achieved. I don't want to go into the history, all the operational issues, regulatory issues. Quite a bit has changed, and today we feel that we are in a much better environment under the current leadership, and we feel far more confident than we ever were as investors in manufacturing sector. At that time, we used to stare at Kenya and be, fear of Kenya. The soap will come from there, the fat cooking oil will come from there. Those fears have gone. But what we see now is Africa free continent trade, and that's staring at us. And if we craft our Vision 2050 rightly and walk the talk, I think we have every reason to lead and succeed and be amongst the leading country in Africa. I was just talking to Mr. Waziri while sitting next to him that, what is the role of private sector in the Vision 2050 core team? And he said, we do have private sector, and we do now going forward, it will be open so everybody can give their inputs. And I think this is very important, that we give inputs, but we also make it far more inclusive, like this, what today CTI has done. And if we can periodically review every 2-3 years and take private sector inputs as to what we want. So let's take, for example, I as a group, I have a vision to grow within Africa. What are my barriers? What is stopping me from doing that? I think I'm able to do in the business that I'm doing. I think I'm probably as good as anybody in Africa could be. You talked about Bagresa, it's an example. We do have our distribution in other businesses today in 6-7 African countries. And what are the problems? And I see two issues as main. One, I think the tax regime needs to change to allow the investments outside Tanzania. That to me is very, very important, because you find that double taxation, punitive taxation, it takes a long time to get this resolved. What's the point of double taxing me for my business I do in Djibouti or in Uganda? And this is a fact I'm talking. I'm not just talking from somebody else. And for the last 6 to 7 years, I've been kind of bragging and writing virtually everywhere in the country to say, but why are you taxing me twice? For what? You are being punitive or for me to invest outside the country. And everybody hears that, but nobody can do anything about it. This is what is required, which is quick, fast changes. And I think that will help a lot. And second is to allow fundraising outside Tanzania in a more freer way. So for example, if I want to put my offshore base, let's say in Mauritius, so that I can raise a bigger amount of funds out there and cheaper, like Lawrence said, our costs are not so cheap here, to be competitive, it's very difficult to do so. So I think it's very important that we look at those issues, that why it's not happening. Now let's take a classic example. I'm a southerner, I'm born in Lindi, and ever since I've been seeing, and cashew nut has gone through many changes in the last 60, 70 years in front of my eyes. During the 50s and 60s, the British were taking it in raw form. Later on, until the 2000, the Indians were taking it in its raw form. And now Vietnamese are taking it in its raw form. What's going on? Does it really take so long for us to process our own cashew nuts? So do a feasibility, for example, right? Easiest one. We need cashew nuts to process. We have the best quality. We need excess and port to kind of send, and it's just 1 kilometer away. And we need labor. Cheap labor, not really specialized educated labor. We have it. Why can't we crack this? What's going on? What's the problem? And this is where I say that if this Vision 2050 would also have a good, inclusive, planning, I think it will bring in the desired results. The future is great, and I'm sure that we will get there from what we are hearing today. Thank you, Lawrence.
PS Uledi, you had the opportunity of serving as a PS industry and trade. If clocks were to be turned back and you called back to office today, what would you do differently in terms of looking at the manufacturing sector today or then and saying these are the things we should not continue doing and we should stop? And I'm talking about us who are sitting in policy-making positions. What would you do differently?